Hey guys, it's Anthony Romrell, and we're going to start out. I'm going to start modeling an arm for the character class, the robot arm. But before we do that, we're going to go to File, and we're going to set our projects. So we're going to go to Set Project, and then I'm going to put this in my one of my repositories. I'm going to go to Git Repos, and I'm going to put this in. Let's cycle this by name, and we're going to do 3D Essential Resources. We'll open that. And there's a Maya file there. And I'm just going to use this Maya file. So I'm going to say open. And then I'm going to make sure that the project window is set for it. So I'm going to say project window. It jumped off to my other screen. And I'll just say accept. Okay. Now that's done, I'm just going to give you some thoughts and dimensions on your robot arm with a white box. Okay. So to do that, I'm simply going to create a box. And rather than scale it, I'm going to go to the polygon here itself. And I'm going to change its height. I'm going to leave it at as a 1, maybe a little lower, maybe a 0.5. And then I'm going to give its width. Let's make this width 10. And let's make its depth also a 10. Okay. And then I'm just going to take this object, hit W to move it, hold the X key to snap it to the grid. And now we've snapped it to the grid. I actually want to snap it center point. So I'm going to hold the D key and the V key and just pull it straight down. That's going to snap it to the very bottom of the model, then hold the X key and snap that to the middle of the grid. All right, is it there yet? Nope. Let's do that again. So now I have the base. And the next thing I'm going to do is create another cube. And I could scale it, but it's easier for me just to do a little bit with the width and height divisions. So this is going to be the main arm of it. And let's just give these numbers. And your numbers don't have to be exactly like mine, but it might help you in your process. So let's give this a height of, say, 10. Maybe it could be a little taller. So we'll go back to object mode. That 10's pretty good. Sorry, I keep hitting the wrong buttons. Okay, so in object mode, back to the poly input. Let's give it a width of like a 3 and a depth of like a 3. And we'll do the same thing. So we're going to hold D and V. We're going to move it center point all the way to the bottom. So I'm going to snap to this bottom point right here. And then I'm going to hold the V key and snap it to the top vert of this object so that this is perfectly aligned with the top. Okay. The next thing, we're just going to add that last cube. So I'm just going to make another cube here. And we're going to make this thing long. So I'm going to give it, let's give it a width of 10. And maybe we want it to be a little longer, maybe 12. And slightly smaller height and depth. So let's do a 2 and a 2. Okay, I'm going to hold the D and the V key, push it to the edge. And I'm going to hold the V key, and it's going to snap to this edge, pull it down a little bit, and just raise it up. Again, this is just a little white boxing here. We'll end up manipulating the middle point again. But basically what I have is a cube that is 10 by 10. And another cube, this is height of 10 and a length of 10. And I think this is a good, easy starting foundation for your model. So we're going to say this is done. A few things in Git. Make sure you use my ASCII. Let's make sure that we're saving to the right location. And yes, it is in my Git repository. So I'm going to name this as robot arm. And .ma, my ASCII in the scenes folder, hit save. And as a result, we should be able to go to our something like Git Kraken or whatever tool you're using. And you can see I have a workspace and the robot arm. I'm going to stage both those files. You can tell if it's Maya ASCII because it'll say Maya and you'll be able to see the code, which is exactly what we want. And then we'll just say, I'm just going to say started robot arm. Save that and close this file. You could see it's committed. It's not pushed, so we want it to go on to the other repository, so we're going to push. And off it goes. It's now to my origin. And we're all set. So that's how you get your robot arm started. Those are some of the dimensions for it and getting it off on a repository.